So now for part two, and I apologize for the rambliness of part one. I was just trying to collect all my thoughts. Further parts may still be rambly for all you know. So part two, further explaining my history as a YouTuber. Um, this I'll just go wherever my mind takes me. So as a child, I was told that throughout my life, I was told that I was very good with music. As a child, my father tells the story of how he played a Paul McCartney and Wings song in the car one time when I was a toddler, and I just said out of nowhere, "Oh, Beatles!" Like I recognized that artist. I recognized Paul McCartney's voice at least that early, and my father would often play the Beatles and all kinds of music of his era. U2, Elton John, Fleetwood Mac, the Pretenders, Talking Heads. He would play all kinds of music from his generation, and I grew up on a lot of that music. But yeah, I was very good at picking out artists just from their voice alone. I was very skilled with that, and let me just collect my thoughts. Um, I was very skilled with picking out artists. And yeah, I grew up on a lot of the music of my parents' generation. My father's the one who would play more regular music. My mother was really into select types of music, like Christmas music and things of that nature. Uh, but yeah, I grew up with music kind of like throughout my whole life. I loved to sing as a kid too. That's something I've carried with me all throughout my life. You may not see me doing a lot of vocal covers on YouTube, and that's because I feel with my current equipment, vocal covers take a long time. But so eventually my parents noticed how talented they felt I was with music. So several times throughout my life they tried to get me involved in piano lessons. And those would work for a while, but then I would lose interest because either I didn't feel like I was being properly challenged or I didn't feel like I was being able to do the songs I actually wanted to play. So I had two different times throughout my life, once as a child and once between late teenage years, early adulthood. I tried again, and both times I just couldn't commit. I also had an opportunity to learn to play guitar, but couldn't commit to that either. Um, so jumping forward a bit, somewhere along the line, yes, I remember now. In high school, there was this one program. Maybe it was called WavePad. I can't really remember. But it was some program where I could mess around with the speed and the pitch and all these effects on music files. And I thought, oh wow, isn't this cool? Isn't this great? But every time I used it, I realized that it was just a free trial. And it would expire after a while. And I thought, I wish there was a program like this WavePad program or whatever it's called that I could just use indefinitely, like WinRAR, because I was used to WinRAR at the time as well. And lo and behold, somehow I come upon Audacity, and the program Audacity is what I use to edit any of my covers or just music in general. If you see me adding vocals to a random instrumental I've made, that's Audacity. If you see me recording my voice and pitching it up to sound like someone else, that's Audacity. The Bad End Saga recordings to this day are all my voice as the different characters, just with Audacity. And the Michael Rosen YTPs even I make are spliced together through Audacity. Um, there's really a lot I do with that program, and as a free program, I find it's very useful. But just yeah, and I guess I should move on to some of the YouTubers I met in my early days on YouTube. There, I'll just go through them. I don't remember when I exactly met them, but one of them was Hero Boy 1092, I believe was his name. That guy was kind of my idol growing up as a remixer. I thought he was very skilled, and I really admired him. And we seemed to get along really well. He was much older than I was, and he had commitments going on in his life. He was going through college at the time, I think, and I really haven't checked in with him since. I really wish I really feel like I should, but I just don't know. I feel like him and I have drifted a bit too far apart as friends. Like nothing happened between us. It's more just I spent so much time not talking to him that I wonder if it would be the same if I talked to him again. There was also the only PKMN master. Um that guy was really cool. Like he said many times that he was blind, but he knew how to use a computer despite his blindness. He could use music really well. He could work on Audacity really well himself despite being blind. Um he could even record his own voice in videos. Like he was very skilled and I really admire him. And this was in the early days of YouTube, so it's not quite like it is now. On the early days of YouTube, we were able to direct message each other on there, among many other things. And he sent me a direct message one time at some point saying like, "Hey, I'm leaving YouTube, but um, there's still this other community that I think you would really enjoy, or this other website." Uh, I I either did not check it, and by that time he was gone, and I couldn't find the message. It was either that, or that was around when my YouTube channel was taken down in 2015. So there was the Hero Boy 1092. There was the only PKMN master. There was a there was a person who called themselves Pachapal, Pachapai, something like that. I later found out they got really frustrated at something that had happened. I don't know what, and they eventually left YouTube. So that was a shame. I thought Pachapai, Pachapal, whoever, whatever their name was, I thought they were a great person. Um, who else did I come across? There was Jeffro W too, I believe is how you say his name, or Jeffro W Duo, or whatever. Um, yeah, he was great. Very talented too. Very, very talented. I think he subscribed to me on one of my channels, but no longer seems to do music. But his music was great. I gotta tell you, he was really skilled at what he did. Um, and who else was there? Was Jeffro W? Oh, there was Evie Sprit, who I talked to for some time. We would collaborate every now and then. I think they're known as Sylv Sprit these days or something else. Or was it even Evie Sprit or was it Eve Sprit? I don't really know. But I would collaborate with them sometimes. They were pretty nice too. They they were enough to get along with. Um, so another thing I should mention on my YouTube channels at the time. Well, I only had one at the time, and I would upload whatever I wanted to it. Somewhere along the time in 2015, um, what happened? That channel was taken down. It was my 228 Some Guy channel, the original 228 Some Guy channel. It was taken down in 2015. For reasons I never found out because I had no access to a laptop at the time. My previous one was broken, and my family was trying to get me a new one. And so the channel was randomly taken down for reasons I don't know. I assume it was because it probably got into copyright trouble because I just uploaded wherever I wanted to there. But yeah, that's a lot of like the other history that ties into my channel. Um, yeah. Whatever else about my story I can share, or my YouTube story, or my story overall, I will make in a further part if I remember it. Take care.